Okay, good day everyone. Good day sir. So first, I am Kaditsan Kinete Badrio, section is 2B. So now our topic is Asia. So here selected country from every regions of Asia. So first, East Asia. So we pick Japan. And next, South Asia, Nepal. Southeast Asia, Singapore. Central Asia, Mongolia. Southwest Asia, Lebanon. And the last is Russia. Okay, so first, discuss the physical aspect of the country. So East Asia, we pick Japan. So location A, Japan, where is the located in the world map? So Japan is located in Eastern Asia and lies between latitude 36 degrees 0 minute north and longitudes 138 degrees 0 minute east. So here we have the picture that represent the countries of Japan. So next is B, country size. So Japan is an archipelago in the Pacific Ocean. The land has a total area of 377,970 km, 145,935 miles, and a total coastline of 29,751 km, 18,486.4 miles. This land area is approximately 94% of the area of California. So Japan is thus the 70th biggest country in Asia, and in terms of area rank, 63rd worldwide. So next, C, type of government. So Japan is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary government. So the currency, introduced in 1871, the Japanese yen or JPY is the official currency of Japan. Okay, next. So A, landmarks. So in Japan, there are many landmarks. So here in the picture, this is the one of the famous landmarks in Japan. So perhaps no other landmarks is as synonymous with Japan as the mighty Mount Fuji. So located northeast of Shimizu, Mount Fuji is the highest volcano in Japan. So coming in at a towering 12,389 feet tall. Okay, next, if other feature or highlights. So Japan's architecture, art traditions, craft, also its worldwide known pop culture, including manga, anime, and video games. It's something that definitely only Japan can offer. No other countries contains the same characteristic. So next is South Asia. So we pick Nepal. Okay, A, location. So Nepal is one of the 3 landlocked countries in South Asia. It is located in the Himalayas and bordered to the north by the People's Republic of China, and the southeast and the west by the Republic of India. So here, this is the Nepal in the picture. So next, B, country size. So Nepal is the roughly trapezoidal shape, about 800 kilometers, 500 miles long, and 200 kilometers, 120 miles wide, with an area of 147,516 km, 56,956 square miles. So C, type of government. So the government of Nepal or Nepali is the federal. So the next is the currency. So the Nepalese Nepalese rupee, or in PR, is the national currency of Nepal. So the next is a landmark. So Sayambunat Itopa, aka, or we call Monkey Temple, is the famous one of the famous landmark in Nepal. So if other feature or highlights. So Nepal has a diverse geography, including fertile plains, subalpine forested hills, and 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. So that is the other feature and highlights of Nepal. So the next is Southeast Asia. So we pick Singapore. So location. So Singapore is located on the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula in Southeast Asia between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. So here, that is the country of Singapore in the picture. So the next is B, country size. So Singapore is an island state on the southern end of the Malay Peninsula. The dwarf state has a total area of only 719 kilometer, 278 miles, and a total of coastline of 193 kilometer, 119.9 miles. This land area is about 0.9 times the size of New York City. So the next is type of government. So since its independence in 9 August 1965, the country has adopted a parliamentary democracy system. So the next is the currency. So the Singapore dollars is the official currency of the island state of Singapore. It is abbreviated as SGD, and it is represented by the symbol dollar. So landmarks. So this is the one of the famous landmarks of Japan. The striking Million sculpture on the Million Park waterfront is one of the most famous landmarks. So it is lion shades, represent Singapore original name, Singapura, which means lion city, while its face tail symbolize the country's early history as a fishing village. Okay, next. So other feature or highlights is in the picture Marina Bay Sands. So an integrated resort notable for transforming Singapore's city skyline. It comprised 355-story towers of extravagant hotel rooms and luxury suite with a personal butler's service. In addition, it is architecture. It is made complete with the sands sky park, which crowns the 3 towers. So that is the other feature or highlights in Singapore. Okay, the next is Central Asia, Mongolia. So location. Mongolia is located in Asia between Russia to the north and China to the south. So situated on mountains and plateaus, it is one of the world's highest countries in elevation, averaging 5,180 feet, 1,580 meters. Mongolia is 435 miles, 700 kilometers from the Yellow Sea. So, in the picture, that is the Mongolia country. So B, country size. So Mongolia is a landlocked country in Eastern Asia, Central Asia between Russia and China. So the land has a total area of 1,564 120 kilometers and 603,910 miles. This land area is approximately 225% of the area of Texas. Mongolia is thus one of the largest countries in Asia and the 98th biggest in the world. So the next is C. C type of government. Mongolia is sometimes described as a semi-presidential system. So D, currency. So the Tuareg or MNP is the national currency of Mongolia and the only legal currency. So the next is landmark. So arguably the most renowned landmark in Mongolia, as well as the largest equestrian statue in the entire world. The monument in to Genghis Khan is the undoubtedly must visit while Mongolia sightseeing. So that is the famous landmarks in Mongolia, one of the famous landmarks. So the next is F, other feature or highlights. So here we have the picture. First, Komsgol Nor. The next is Ulaanbaatar, a modern city encircled by sprawling yurt encampments. Ulaanbaatar is a capital quite unlike any other in the world. The beating heart of modern Mongolia and fascinating introduction to the country. So that is the other feature or highlights in Mongolia. So the next is Southeast Asia. So we pick Lebanon. So A, location. Lebanon is located in the Middle East. It is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Israel to the south, and Syria to the east and north. So in the picture, that is the country of Lebanon. Okay, next. So B, country size. So the land has a total area of 10,450 kilometers, 4,035 miles, and a total coastline of 225 kilometer, 139.8 miles, and this land area is approximately 100% of the area of Hawaii. Lebanon is thus one of the smallest country in Asia by area and ranked 169 worldwide. So the next is C, government type. So modern Lebanon is a unitary multi-party republic with a parliamentary system of government. So D, currency. So the pound or lira is the currency of Lebanon. Okay, next. E, landmarks. So in the picture, this is the one of the famous landmarks in Lebanon. So the what we call this Ra'outs rocks. So Ra'outs rocks are also known as the Pigeon Park. So a natural landmark in Lebanon. Okay, next is other features and highlights. So in the picture, we have the Beirut, and the second is Tripoli, the second largest city in Lebanon. is the other feature and highlights of Lebanon. Okay, next is Russia. So, A. Location, Russia the country. Russia the country commonly known as Russia. It is located partly in Eastern Europe and partly in Northern Asia, bordering the Arctic Ocean in the north. So, that is the Russia, one of the biggest countries of the world. So, B. Country size, the largest country in the world is Russia with a total area of 17,098,242 kilometers and 6,601,665 miles, and the land area of 16,376,870 miles, 6,323,142 miles, equivalent to the 11% of the total world's landmass of the 148,009,400 kilometers, 57,510,000 square miles. So, C. Also, most populous countries. So, next is C. Type of government. So, the 1993 Constitution declares Russia a democratic, federative, law-based state in a republican form of government. So, that is the type of government of Russia. So, the next is currency. The ruble is the currency of the Russian Federation. So, the ruble is the currency of the Russian Federation. So, the ruble is subdivided into 100 kopecks. The first Russian ruble replaced the Soviet ruble in September 1993 at par. So, next is A. Landmark. So, one of the famous landmarks in Russia is the Moscow Kremlin. So, the Kremlin in Moscow is one of the top landmarks in Japan. The existing features of the Moscow Kremlin were built between 1485 and 1495 by skilled Italian architects. So, that is the famous landmarks of Russia. So, other features or highlights is Lake Baikal. The second is Kamchatka Peninsula. Second is discuss the cultural aspect of the country. So, first, A. History. B. Citizens. C. Unique and distinct culture. B. Other features and highlights. So, here is Asia, Japan. History. So, Japan was settled about 35,000 years ago by Paleolithic people from the Asian mainland. At the end of the last ice age, about 10,000 years ago, a culture called the Jomon developed. So, Jomon hunter-gatherers fashioned for clothing, wooden house, and elaborate clay vessel. So, B. Citizens. Any person born in wedlock to at least one Japanese parent is automatically a Japanese national, regardless of the place of birth. Children born in Japan to parents who are stateless or have an unknown status may become Japanese nationals after 3 years of residence. So, C is unique and distinct culture. So, as we see the picture, So Shinto is widely considered to be the native religion of Japan, while most locals will deny being religious at all. So Shinto traditions and festival plays a hug role in everyday life. In Kyoto alone, there are over 400 Shinto shrines dedicated to various kami deities. So they other features and highlights. So we see in the picture that we called sumo wrestling. So the next is Nepal history. So Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multicultural, multi-religious, and multi-country. The most spoken country is Nepal, followed by several other ethnic languages. So the Kingdom of Nepal was established in 1768 and started a campaign of unifying what would form the modern territories of Nepal. So B. Citizens. So Nepalese, English Nepalese, are the citizens of Nepal under the provisions of Nepali national law. So the country is home to people of many different national origins who are the descendants of immigrants from India, Kashmir, Central Asia, and Tibet. So next is unique and distinct culture. So culture in Nepal, the culture of Nepal is rich and unique. The cultural heritage of Nepal has evolved over the centuries. The multidimensional heritage encompasses the diversities of Nepal ethnic, tribal, and social groups, and manifests in music and dance, art and craft, folklore and folk tales, language and literature, philosophy and religions, festivals and celebrations, foods and drinks. So the other features and highlights. So we see in the picture that is the other features and highlights of Nepal. So the next is Singapore history. In 1826, Singapore was grounded by the British East India Company together with Penang and Malacca to form the Straits settlements administered by the British East India Company. In 1830, the Straits settlements became a residence or subdivision of the Presidency of Bengal in British India. So that is the brief Singapore history. So B. Citizens. So Singaporeans or the Singapore people are the ethnic group comprising citizens who identify themselves as a nation with the sovereign island city-state of Singapore. Singaporean is a multiracial, multicultural, multireligious, and multilingual country. So the next is unique and distinct culture of Singapore. So Singapore is multi-ethnic society where Chinese, Malay, and Indian traditions coexist beneath the veneer of Western Cosmopolitan metropolis. The three main ethnic groups are religious and cultural diverse. So the other features and highlights. So the famous Merlion overlooks Singapore iconic Marina Bay. So that is the highlights or other features of Singapore. So the next is history of Mongolia. So the Mongolian People's Republic was proclaimed in November 1924, and the Mongolian capital centered on the main monastery of the Boljigen was renamed Ulaanbaatar. Red Hero from 1921 until the end of the 1980s, Mongolia was one party state closely tied to the Soviet Union. So the next is B, citizens. So the Mongols are an East Asian ethnic group native to Mongolia, Inner Mongolia in China, and the Buryatia Republic of the Russian Federation. The Mongolians and the Mongols are the principal member of the large family of Mongolic peoples. So the next is unique and distinct culture. So Mongolian culture is also known for its handicraft and folk art. So Mongolian folk art includes a wide range of crafts and decorative arts such as wood carving, metalworking, embroidery, and weaving. So in the picture, that is the example of unique and distinct culture of Mongolia. So the next is history of Lebanon. So Lebanon was the home of the Canaanites, Phoenicians, and their kingdoms, a maritime culture that flourished for over 1,000 years. In 64 BC, the region came under the rule of the Roman Empire and eventually became one of the empire's leading centers of Christianity. So next is B, citizens. So Lebanese citizens is the status of being a citizen of Lebanon, and it can be obtained by birth of naturalization. So the next is unique and distinct culture. So the Lebanese are proud of their tradition of hospitality. This is the culture where it is considered an honor to have a guest in your home. So the next is other features and highlights of Lebanese clothing. You see in the picture, that is the example. Okay, the next is history of Russia. So the history of Russia begins with the histories of the East Slavs. The traditional start date of especially Russian history in the establishment of the Rus state in the north in 862 ruled by Viragans. So that is the brief history of Russia. So next is B, citizens. So the standard way to refer to citizens of Russia is Russians in English. There are two Russians world which are commonly translated into English as Russians. What we call this Ruski, which in modern Russia most often means ethnic Russians. It was 145 in 2021. That figure from the United includes the 2.4 million people of Crimea, which Russia seized in 2014 and incorporated into its national accounts. So the next is unique and distinct culture of Russia. Russian culture is shaped by an authoritarian way of thinking, so the relationship between generations is also shaped by respect and appreciation. So Russian parents are mostly very protective of their kids. They usually make important decisions regarding their children themselves without decision. So the next is the other features and highlights. We see in the picture, the Russian people include a broader nose, dark blonde eyebrows, fair skin, and a round face. And that's all about this topic. So thank you.